Live from PATV Studios, it's the Lyle Style Show. And now, the man with the most style, it's your host, Lyle Style.
See it on TV. Oh, hey, well, welcome to a beautiful edition of the Lyle Style Show. How can I even talk about my guest? He's a young man, brilliant young man, a pianist, does a boogie woogie music, which is coming back. So I saw him play, and I said, this is a little kid playing piano, but he's not a little kid though. But I want to introduce you to a good friend of mine, Chase Garrett.
Thanks for having me, Lyle.
Thanks for having me, young man.
Yeah.
Right, I appreciate it, man. I'm glad that you got you on the show because I know you are real busy, doing performing and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But as we were talking before, you were telling me a little bit about the background and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, just to start off, let's the viewers know a little bit about you and where you came from.
Yeah, sure. Well, I'm from Iowa City originally. I was born and raised here, and I went to Regina High School from kindergarten all the way through senior year. So it's I'm a lifer there.
Yeah.
I made a lot of good friends there.
It's a good school too.
Yeah, it's great. And yeah, I mean, I kind of got into doing this piano thing by when I was 9 years old. My parents gave me this little keyboard for Christmas, and my grandma gave me a Scott Joplin CD. And Scott Joplin is a ragtime pianist.
Yeah, right.
You might know him from, like, if you've ever been to an ice cream truck, you've heard Scott Joplin. He plays this entertainer song. Well as, yeah. So if you've ever heard, you've heard Scott Joplin.
I heard that before.
And so they gave me this CD, and I really like this music. Of course, at the time, I got a bunch of Legos for Christmas too. I didn't really want to listen to the music, but my dad said, well, to make your grandma happy, you should at least listen to the CD while you're making your Legos. So I listened to this CD, and I love this song on there called "The Maple Leaf Rag," and it's really, really common in ragtime music. It's pretty much the most common rag you'll ever hear for the most part. If you know how to play ragtime, you know how to play this tune. And so I went to my lessons, which came, 2 free lessons came with this keyboard from West Music. I went to West Music, and I said, this is the CD I just got for Christmas. I love this song, Maple Leaf Rag. I'd love to learn how to play it. And she said, well, we normally teach our students how to do, the basics first, and then we kind of get into more difficult things. But I said, I just want to play this song. I just want to do this. Forget
the basics. I want to play this song.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I just want to do this. So she kind of taught me these. She played it for me once. I said, this sounds just like the tune. I want to do this. And obviously, just beginning, she found like a very simplified version of this, but it was still the same idea. And so at the time, she kind of taught me, the basics of what note is which. But in terms of how to read notes, I still don't know how to read music today.
Oh, really?
I still can't. I mean, very well. If I can if I really have to, but there's no way I can sight read. It takes me a long time to do it still. But at the time, she'd basically just show me where to put my hands, and I'd remember these shapes of where she puts her hands, and I kind of remember them as patterns. And that's still kind of how I remember all my piano stuff, is I just kind of visualize it as a pattern, and then put these pieces together, and just kind of different ways.
You play by ear, though, don't you?
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. I play by ear, so I play by hearing something and then repeating it back on the keyboard, or watching someone play something and then saying, oh yeah, this is how he does that. And it started out when I was 9, and I just kind of progressed a little bit. She taught me the blues scale, and the blues scale is very prominent in everything I do now.
Okay.
And that kind of allowed me to open up my door to, this is now, I have so many notes to play with, I can put them in any order I want to, so let's mess with that. And I started listening to a lot of B.B. King, a lot of Eric.
Those are your favorites, B.B. King.
Right. I actually wasn't really influenced by pianists for a while. I was really influenced by Etta James, by B.B. King, Eric Clapton. Later on, Joe Bonamassa. I mean, obviously, and that was way later on. But Bobby Blue Bland, a lot of these guitar players, T-Bone Walker. And it wasn't until I was 13 or 14 that I got some actual blues piano CDs. I mean, I've heard of the blues and they had pianists with them, but it was always, the guitar frontman. So I learned a lot of these kind of guitar licks right off the bat, and really B.B. King stuck with me a lot. And B.B. King, I've seen him 6 times. I got to meet him once.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah. I got to meet him once. It was a short time. It was like a minute, but it was on his bus after one of his concerts. Actually, right when Hansher was still here, I got to meet him right outside.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, right. And it was I never thought I'd be starstruck, but I was like, oh, B.B. King, it's you. He's got this
It's probably-
giant.
yeah.
He's got this giant BB ring on, and I was like shaking his hand, and he was like, "Thanks, good to meet you." And I was like, "I wasn't trying to take your ring or anything."
Yeah.
But
He's like, oh, now you shaking my hand a little bit too long,
Yeah,
man.
right,
You
exactly.
got to stop, young man. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. But that's kind of how it started. So I just, it progressed from there. This CD I got from my dad for my birthday was of a CD of a man named Otis Spann. And Otis Spann used to be Muddy Waters' pianist for a long time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Muddy Waters. Yeah.
Yeah, Muddy Waters is a classic blues band. And he's still today like one of my all-time favorite blues pianists. And he wasn't very well educated in terms of schooling, but in terms of his playing, it was beautiful. So I listened to a lot of his music, and when I was 15, it's kind of when I got into boogie woogie music.
Okay. Yeah. That's your specialty, though.
Yeah, it's my specialty, right? Boogie woogie, and that's kind of where that allowed me to grow up a little bit musically. I still do a lot of the blues stuff. That's like my blues and boogie woogie are still like what I would still call myself as a blues and boogie woogie pianist. I'm broadening my horizons a little bit to more swing stuff and a little more like back to the ragtime stuff I used to do a little bit. Right. But that's kind of how it started. So.
Oh, doing from 9 years old.
Yeah, from 9 years. Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Yeah. I mean, you play by ear.
Yeah, I still play by ear, and I kind of, the way I do it now, which kind of drives, if I'm in a room with anybody, if they're home, it kind of drives them nuts. I have my laptop, and I'll have my Bose headphones on, like noise-canceling headphones, and I'll have it where I have one ear on and one ear off, so I can listen to the recording and then still listen to the piano at the same time. So I'll do this kind of thing, and man, if you're in the house and all you hear is like little trinkets, it can drive you nuts.
Oh man, you're doing your thing, man.
Yeah,
right. Now, did you write your own music?
I do write some of my own tunes. I feel like I wrote more when I was younger, just starting out, because I was really into like. I have a couple. The first CD I ever recorded, I was 14.
Wow, okay.
And it was like it was kind of a demo CD with 5 tracks on it. But then the next CD when I was 16 was all new material, and it was 12 songs, and it was all my own pieces.
Wow.
Yeah. I didn't sing then though. I just started singing when I was about 17. So I still write songs. I like to write stuff with lyrics in it now.
Okay.
But I'm really getting into more big band stuff, like big band arrangements, and doing more with horn players instead of just myself. Like, so I'm starting to write stuff for bands, as well as my own material, but learning stuff that people would know, and doing this kind of stuff too. So it's kind of a good balance. You got to find a good balance.
Well,
between the two.
Exactly. You have to have your own material,
right?
Your own, personal things, and you have some things that people have heard,
Yeah, right.
And to say, oh, well, I've heard that before. Yeah. But I mean, this is your profession right here. You've been and you're so young. You're 25.
Yeah, 25. Yeah.
Wow, man. But you look so young, even with a beard. You
Yeah,
look
right.
young, man.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That's a really wonderful thing. But and anyway, let's talk a little bit about different places. You got a following, which I was so like. Wow, like I didn't understand. So wow, he's from the United States. He must have a good following here. Right. But you said you got more of a following in Europe.
Right. Yeah. I mean, kind of how all that happened was when I was about 19, 20. I came into a little bit of money. And like I said to you earlier, a little bit of a fortunate, unfortunate event is my mom passing. But because of this, I got a little bit of life insurance money, and to honor her, I decided to put this back into my music. So I created this show at the Englert. Called the Blues and Boogie Woogie Piano Stomp. Okay. And this is the 6th year it'll be happening.
The 6th year?
6th year, yeah. I can't believe that either, but it's already the 6th year. Dang, and it'll be November 13th and 14th this year at the Englert.
Really?
Yep.
13th and 14th. Now, what day would that be?
It's a Friday and Saturday. Yep, Friday and Saturday at the Englert.
I'm going to have to come to that one.
Oh, yeah, it's fantastic.
I have to come to one of your concerts, man.
Yeah, it's great. It's really great, yeah. But, because of this concert, I've kind of got to use it as my calling card. So I said, I knew of these musicians that were overseas because when I was 17, I got hired to go to the Cincy Blues Festival in Cincinnati, Ohio. Okay. And they have their own Boogie Woogie Blues piano stage. It's the only one in the whole country, I think, that has their own strictly piano stage. And so they'd hire musicians from all over the world, all over the country and Europe too. And I started to go. I got hired once to do this, but then I just kept going every year to meet these pianists. And in the same area, just across the river in Kentucky, my friend Ricky Nye was hosting his own show called the Blues and Boogie Piano Summit.
Oh, okay.
And so his is in his 15th year. He's been doing it for a long time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Real, okay, it's a young dude like you?
But he's he's older than me, but he's like in his 50s right now. But,
oh, okay.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
just a
but,
little bit
yeah,
older
just a little,
than you,
just a bit.
Yeah, a little bit older
But
than you, yeah.
he's been a good mentor for me for a long time, and we've been friends too for a long time, and because of this, he had a lot of the same players at his show that were at this festival. They were about 2 months apart, so they'd come and maybe he'd meet them there, and then he got on the board too for the Cincy Blues Fest. So he'd actually hire them, outright. Here's the Cincy Fest, and you're in my show. Why don't you just come for both? And
Right.
and likewise like this. So I meet all these great pianists from overseas as well as across the U.S. that he would meet, and from this I'd say, well, I have a show at the Englert, and I'd like to have international pianists. I'd like to have it be fantastic.
Right.
I like your music. Will you come here? And if I heard someone from Spain that said that had their own festival in Barcelona, I said, well, I'll have you here. I'd love to play your show if it's possible sometime. And
Swap a little bit.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
So maybe it'd be a couple years, but maybe they'd have me there, and vice versa. Maybe if someone has me there and I can't do them this year because it's booked, or next year, maybe in a couple years though I can have them come to my show. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of using this as my calling card, and we get to a lot of us kind of get to travel in this way. I think it's really nice if you have your own show. You can kind of like you said, just swap essentially.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like you were, to answer your original question, of this following I have, it's kind of strange because I do have more fans, I guess, or like a fan base in Europe. It's strange.
It's weird, man.
Yeah.
Because music, man, United States, this country, we love music.
Yeah,
all
yeah.
kind of music.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to feel like people from here, United States, are really getting really well known in the UK and
Right.
in Spain and France and Europe, all over.
Of course.
The music scene is really getting really popular out there.
Yeah.
And you just tapped into that right there. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's there's a lot of swing dancers in the U.S. A lot of swing dancers. The swing scene, I feel like, is very much alive and well here. But the boogie woogie scene is kind of not as much. It's much more in Europe, and especially in Germany.
Oh, really?
It's huge in Germany and Austria too. I mean, the surrounding areas as well, but Germany it's really huge in Germany, and I'll tell you why. There's a musician whose name is Axel Zwingenberger. Yeah,
Say that 3 times.
Yeah, exactly,
man.
right.
Say that name 3 times.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this guy, Axel Zwingenberger, he kind of had this boogie woogie revival in the 80s and 70s with a couple of these great blues musicians that were still around from the 60s. And he kind of got to record with some of these great musicians, and him and this guy, Bob Seeley, who's like 85, I think, right now, who was around when piano greats like Art Tatum were around, and like Oscar Peterson and Errol Garner and these kind of guys. And he used to hang out with these folks, and he used to hang out with the legends of boogie woogie, and who were who started this music. They were good friends together. And so years went by, and these two met up, just like at a festival somewhere, or maybe just in a bar or club somewhere, and they kind of started this boogie woogie revival with this other pianist from Austria, Martin Pirker. So these three were these three guys really started this whole revival of this music. And so Martin Pirker and Axel, just in Germany and Austria, were making their own festivals all over the place that started to draw a lot of attention. And I mean, all these guys have played at Carnegie Hall a couple times.
Oh, they have?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
so they played
yeah.
in the big field.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So they were traveling. Some of these guys were traveling like rock stars. They had their own bus and they had their all this stuff, and it was huge. It was a really big following. And so after a couple of years, it gained a following from other musicians, and then the younger crowd, like me and a couple other people who were overseas, we started to get interested in this music too, and it's just kind of developed into this thing where I think there's more people who are getting interested in it. It's not, like I said, as popular here. It's way more popular in Germany and these places now in Europe. But that's why it's so important, I think, to have this piano stomp still here because at the Englert. Because it's one of the only shows that is in the U.S. that still has this music around.
Exactly, and I've heard of you. I heard of you, and a lot of, you're definitely real popular in Iowa City. So that goes without saying right there. And I know all over you've been to Des Moines. You've been. I wonder if you played a different. So you're going to play. You said this year at Des Moines Fest?
Yeah, I'll be at the Des Moines Arts Fest with Des Moines guitar great Rob Lombard. I can't exactly remember what date this is right now, but it's in June. I think it's at the end of June, so it's going to be great. Yeah.
Okay, good, good. And now, man, we got to get you at the Ivy City Jazz Fest.
Yeah.
You on the show, man? I'm saying let's get this young man on the Ivy City Jazz Fest. I mean, he's brilliant. He knows how to write his own music. He is real good. He will be a great act for Ivy City Jazz Fest.
right, yeah.
Watch
exactly.
the show. Let's book him.
Yeah, right.
Because I'm surprised, man. I'm really, because jazz, blues.
Yeah, it's
all that intertwined.
Yeah, they're all related, right?
All related,
Right.
I grew up in jazz, so when I said jazz, I did the jazz show. Our show did, and at that time they had Theolis Monk.
Oh yeah.
A trio.
Really?
His son.
Wow.
His son was a drummer. So I got a chance to interview him and his trio, guys that play sax. And
wow.
you can tell, oh man, I was so
amazing.
nervous. It was amazing because he was telling me all these people he went to, he does at school in Washington, D.C. and all that type of stuff. So it was, to hear that type of stuff back then,
Right.
was
That's
wonderful.
fantastic.
That was back in '93.
Okay.
when they first Jazz Festival was
Right.
but you're doing the art show in Des Moines.
Yeah, right, yeah. The Moines Arts Fest.
Any other stops you're doing in this country?
It'll hopefully be coming up soon. I mean, like right now, I just moved to Madison, Wisconsin to work a little bit.
Why did you move to Madison, Wisconsin?
Yeah. Well, I was I've been moving around a lot the past 5 years or so, and last year I was actually in Boston on the East Coast. I was doing this piano technician school there. It's called North Bennett Street School, and so I graduated there last June, and essentially, so now I'm a piano technician, so I can tune and I can regulate and fix pianos, this kind of thing. But at the time, last year, I was dating this girl in Austria. We had met at another festival when I was there.
Oh, you're dating an Austrian girl?
Yeah, right.
You're old Casanova, huh?
Yeah, right.
So you dated her?
Yeah. So we were dating her, I was dating her, and it was great because she was like a foot taller than me. And,
was she?
Yeah, she really was. It was fantastic.
Wow.
But because of her, I decided that I wanted to go to Europe and see her. I hadn't seen her in a long time, obviously, and I graduated this school in the beginning of June, and I was booked to play at the Cognac Blues Festival in France at the beginning of July.
Oh, okay.
And I said, well, this could start this whole tour if I wanted it to.
Right.
So, like I was telling you earlier, I went down the Wikipedia list of like all the jazz fest and clubs in Europe, and emailed every one of them.
I can't believe you emailed that many people.
Yeah.
750?
Yeah, it was 750 emails. It was 750. I was busy.
Oh, you was busy.
Yeah.
That's all you did, man. Just all from 8 hours.
Yeah, it took like 4 months to do it. Yeah,
wow.
It was a long time. But
that's dedication, though.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
That's dedication.
Exactly.
So after you did that, you actually got gigs.
Yeah. I got a lot of gigs. One of my most memorable gigs last year was I played it 5 nights in Venice. That was perfect. It was beautiful.
Oh, man.
5 nights in Venice. 3 of them were solo. 2 of them were with local Venetian musicians.
Really.
And it was beautiful.
What's the response of people with this?
It's really, they love it there. They really do. I think it's this, but I think it's also the aspect of that it's an American and not just another oh, you're Italian too, or whatever. Right. It's like, oh, you're American.
Yeah. Americans doing this.
Yeah, right. So they kind of like a lot of it when Americans are over there. But because of doing this, I was first. Steven Segal actually plays blues guitar, and he was
Steven Segal.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, like the badass, like the action hero. Yeah, like that guy.
Steven Segal.
Right.
He's a deputy sheriff too, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
You met him?
Yeah, we met last year at the Cognac Blues Festival for like a little bit, but he was there playing, and it was great to see Steven Segal.
I would not mess with his piano or him or let you go ahead. You can play all you want to, man.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
Steven, okay, so
So that's was like my first stop last year. And I also went to Belgium. I was in Holland. I was back in Paris. I was in Poland for a little bit. I was in Hungary. Like I said, in Italy, Austria, Switzerland, Germany. I was everywhere.
Okay.
So.
No. But what was now you've been to all these exotic places, which. In people's lifetimes, they probably wouldn't even get a chance to go to. But you've been to them. You're so young. You're only 25.
Yeah.
Could you tell me some of the weirdest things that happened to you?
The weirdest things happened to these places. Yeah, actually, when I got to, I played at the Heineken International Boogie Woogie and Blues Festival in Holland in March last year. And when I first got there, apparently in Holland, it's really common to get like smoked eel. Smoked eel. Yeah, yes. I never would have thought about this, but smoked eel is apparently a very common like dish to have there. So as soon as I got off the plane, they were like, "Well, before we even go to your hotel, we're going to get smoked eel." And I said, "Okay, that sounds good to me." But I think like a lot of the weird stuff that happens is mostly like the type of food that they have. You know, like I was in Spain performing over Thanksgiving like 5 years ago, and they said, I didn't really expect to get like a turkey dinner or anything, but something like chicken or something. They're like, okay, well, today we're gonna have octopus. And I was like, okay, that's good.
You're kidding me, man.
Yeah, and it was like like live on the plate too, like moving around.
Was it moving around?
Yeah, it was like
the tentacles.
touch
you?
Yeah, it was like moving around and stuff.
Be...
So yeah, these are probably like some of the weirdest things, but just like some of the stuff that goes on that I don't know that's going on because they're speaking a different language when it's happening.
Right.
So a lot of the times, like in Poland, this happened too. In Poland, there was like as soon as I got off the plane, they're like, "Here's your complimentary bottle of vodka." It's like here you go. And and as soon as we got,
it wants you to get drunk before you
start. Yeah, right. Exactly. That's right.
Yeah.
So we and like all this stuff happens where they just start speaking in Polish, and then we're like, well, we have to make a pit stop, and then like whatever stuff happens, and then it's like, oh, that's crazy. I could tell you this quick story too about being in Germany last year.
Okay.
I was in this place called Sylt, Germany. It's an island in Germany. It's on the west coast. It's a very skinny island, but it's for many miles. And I was visiting this pianist who we were playing at the time. We were playing in town hall just because it was a wonderful concert. But this guy is a little weird. He's a little strange. I got there and it was like midnight, and he wanted to go out and put posters up in the town, which I said is fine. We can advertise, but we went out by bike, like we're like pedaling into town, like putting bikes up. And he's an older guy. He's like maybe like in his 50s too.
Yeah.
And so it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, man, I've been up since whatever. I took 3 trains to get here, and I'm kind of tired. He's like, okay, we'll go home. And like on the way home, he's like, but first we're gonna stop here. And I'm like, where? And like stop here, and we're like stop at a strip club.
Oh no!
Yeah, exactly.
Are you wait a minute. Hold the horses on this one right
here. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, you just get. Are you serious?
Yeah. And he's like, we'll put posters up in here. I'm like, I don't think they're gonna come to the show, man. They're not gonna come tomorrow.
Wait. So he wants you.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. He wants you to put posters up in the strip club.
Yeah.
Did you at least get a chance to see a little
bit? Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
You saw the show, did you?
Right. Yeah, exactly. It was beautiful. It was the first time I'd ever been in a place like that. So it was like they don't speak any English, and it's in Germany, but they're all from Hungary. So it was like. I was like, well, this is interesting.
Wow, I said, wow, goodness. I wonder if they know a little bit about the Boogie Woogie thing.
Yeah.
They was probably doing a little Boogie Woogie too.
Yeah, right.
On the
stage.
Club,
yeah, right, exactly.
Oh, that was weird.
Yeah, that was like one of the most like interesting experiences last year. Just like, what am I doing? This is so strange.
First of all, 3 something in the morning, they got a strip club open that late at night. 3 something. That place never sleeps or something like that.
It doesn't. No, it goes till like 5 in the morning. Man. It's crazy.
Oh my goodness, that weird, but kind of entertaining.
Yeah, it makes for a good story. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, definitely. Sure. And you're pretty. How old are you? Probably 24 then.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
24.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, but so and you got a good fan base. What does any of the fans have done anything crazy for you?
Yeah, I have a few people who constantly send me things like who constantly send me CDs, or they'll make something like piano ties, or make like like buttons or something. They keep sending me, and I have like a whole, like I call it my music box. It's a big box with like everything I get from people and everything that I've done, like all the posters and things like this, or like photos I get from people that I don't even know. But I actually I still take photos, but I don't take nearly as many as I did, because normally now if I play at a festival, there's people who are probably like taking photos anyway. So I know I'll get like some sort of disc in the mail sometimes. So it's great. But these are the most common things, probably like little trinkets here and there.
Wow,
maybe a book or two, but yeah.
Now anything? Okay, now see, that's over in the UK, the countries now. Out here in the United States, I mean, it's kind of growing.
Yeah.
Because you're really kind of well known in Cincinnati.
Yeah, right.
So any crazy things happen over there?
Cincinnati, yeah, a couple of crazy things happen in Cincinnati. There's a young. He's a young kid. I mean, he's 16 years old, and he's coming into his own. He's a blues pianist too. He's a great guy, and we, you know, he was really young when I met him, and he was like 9 years old, maybe 10,
Oh, wow,
maybe
okay.
10. And there's always these after parties at these festivals, you know, like this. And he was like 9 years old, and you know, we're like, you should really, you should come to this, you know, you should come to this after party and just see these musicians and see what it's like to hang out and see what it's like to do this. And so he's like, yeah, you know, I'll come check it out. And of course, his parents came, but he didn't know like what to expect at all, you know. And everyone starts getting up, and there's back in the 1930s, there was a woman named Lucille Bogan who sang these really crude blues tunes, like stuff that you wouldn't even think you'd hear except in, like, you know, rap music today.
Okay. Okay.
And,
okay.
right.
Yeah.
And some of these blues musicians knew some of these lyrics. So he's like 9 years old, you know, sipping on whatever he's drinking, and this guy starts busting out this blues tune, and he's like playing harmonica, and things are going crazy, and people are getting loud, and you know, I'm like standing next to him, like, I'll protect you, you know, like it's gonna be okay.
You don't know what's going on.
Yeah, right, exactly. Exactly.
These lines and
stuff
like that.
Yeah, exactly. Like earmuffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you notice that 9-year-old kid just, you know, sitting, you know, standing here, you know, looking at, they're probably too well off into what they're doing or something.
Right.
That's wow.
It was great.
That's great. Now, wow, you've been doing it, like I said, since 9 years old. You're 25. It's a long time, man.
Yeah.
I mean, and this is your profession, like I said.
Yeah.
Now, you said you might be moving again to St. Louis.
Yeah, potentially, yeah. I was just there this weekend visiting a friend, and there's a church that he lives in that's currently not being used as a church, and the owner of this church wants to turn it into a performance venue. And I told the residents of this house that, you know, this is something I've always dreamed about doing, is having my own performance venue to keep hosting things like this. And I'd love to have the chance to talk to this developer and see what his ideas are about it. And, you know, so, I mean, this was just literally 2 days ago. So,
wow, really?
But, you know, I've known them for a while, so this is something that we're thinking about. Mm-hmm.
So it's maybe in the works then?
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Now, wait. First of all, why did you move to Wisconsin?
To work at a Steinway dealership as a piano technician.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's like when I came back from when I was in Europe in December, after I played at Hungary, this is when I was kind of like, well, I should probably find a place to work. And so I kind of worked on music for about a month, and then I went out to look for a job as a technician, and this is where I found one.
Oh, good, great. So you got a place out there. You got a place out there and everything. So, I mean, you got a wonderful, you got a very interesting background career you got, man.
Thanks, man.
And I think Boogie Woogie is really going to get popular here. I mean, you got a following here now, regardless. And you know, like I said, your gig is coming up at the Engler again this fall.
Yep, November 13th and 14th. Yeah, at the Engler.
Okay, which everybody. And your concert sells out.
Oh yeah, it's sold out the past 5 years. So get your tickets. Get your tickets. They're gonna be sold out.
You have to let me know about the tickets, man.
Yeah, right. Okay? Yeah, exactly.
Let me know about the tickets.
Of course,
man.
man.
I definitely want to, because I never seen you at a concert. I just seen you play, and I definitely want to take. I would take that Friday off to even check you out, whatever.
Of course.
Maybe I could just bring the Lyle Style Show down there, whatnot.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there you go.
Do a little interview type.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Well, okay, so you want anything you want to talk to the viewers? You want to say, you know, anything? What would you tell an aspiring person like yourself, like coming up into the piano, doing the piano? How would you encourage them? What would you tell them? You know, the way you made it. You know?
Yeah, right. I would say this to anybody right now, and I believe this a lot. I believe this very strongly, is that if you have a passion, pursue it. Don't settle for something that you think people want for you. If you want something, you got to go for it, because, you know, there's all this kind of stigma of you should be doing this, or like in society you should be, you know, like you should be maybe married by the time you're 30, or you should have kids, or you like 2 kids and have a house, and you know, all this good stuff. But if you have a passion, I definitely would say pursue this, no matter what it is. And I say this to everyone that I kind of run into, and young aspiring musicians. Definitely, you know, if you're struggling, push through it, because you're going to struggle no matter where you are in life. But you just got to keep pushing towards what your goals are. And I would definitely say this: if you have a passion, just work your butt off. Work your butt off to make it happen.
Like you did.
Yeah,
you live in proof that you have a passion in
Right.
what you accomplish in your life, and you are a wonderful, talented young man. man, I want you to come back on the show again, man.
Yeah,
Down
sure.
the line,
More than happy to, Lyle.
Yeah, definitely, man. I'm glad I get a chance to talk to you, man. I
Definitely.
couldn't talk to you back then because everybody surrounded you. You was like one of those rock stars.
Yeah, right.
I said, dang, this little kid, you know, he was probably around in your 20s.
Yeah.
Oh, no, in your teens.
Yeah.
That was about 4 years ago.
Yeah. So just a baby still.
It's a baby. Yeah, you're still a baby now. So anyway,
right.
hey, I want to thank you for coming on the show.
Hey, thanks a lot. Yeah, I appreciate
Garrett,
it, man.
man.
Yeah, definitely.
I wish you all the luck. I know you're going to do well in
Thanks a lot.
Europe and here. I can't wait till November to get here, so
It's gonna be great.
Check your concert out, man.
Definitely.
Keep in contact with me because I want to get some tickets.
We'll do, definitely.
So you know, send me some ticket numbers.
Yeah.
But I do want to go. I want to go,
For
man.
sure, yeah, sure,
Lyle Style,
for
I want to
sure.
go though, really. So I want to say everybody, Garrett here, he has a passion. Everybody out there got a passion. Pursue your passion like Garrett. Garrett's an example of what he's done with his passion. If you pursue your passion, you can do anything you want to. Don't let nobody stop you from doing what you desire, what you want to do, what you got the passion for. I got a passion to do my talk show and talk to people. I'm doing that. So all my people out there, I want to have y'all to keep styling and profiling. Keep with your passion. Keep doing that. Keep loving each other. Until next time on the Lyle Style Show. Everybody else there, I love y'all. Keep watching the Lyle Style Show. I'm out of here. Peace.